everybody and welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. So please excuse my little baby over here. She has been so stuck to me since quarantine happened and occurred. Tail or a head pop into the video every now and then that's just what it is, or it's probably it could also be one of my other cats. Today I thought that I would do a complete reset of my Panos eyeshadows project pan. So the reason for this is just because I have been so unmotivated. I really just failed at the first half of the year pretty much, but I thought if we reset it and I have something fresh to work with, then I'm going to be more inspired to use it. Because of that, I'm going to reset the whole selection, but I'm going to show you guys where I am at in all of the shades that were generated before at the very beginning of the year. So let's just jump right into this video, I guess. So first off, we generated a shade from the Soap X Makeup Revolution Christmas palette, of which I only counted these 6 shades over here as shadow shades. The shade that we generated is this pink shade right here, and as you can see, I have made a little bit of a dip in it. I wouldn't say this is definitely not my worst eyeshadow. I've definitely used it quite a few times. The next shades that we generated came from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and you guys know I absolutely love this palette. It's one of my go-to day-to-day palettes. It is Bellini in here. I have actually used this quite a few times, but the thing is I use it with my hand, so there is definitely a little dip in there. I've used it quite a few times. Like I said, this is probably my most used shade, I would say, from all the shades that we generated. This is the most used one. But as you can see, there is a dip there where I'm pretty sure there never used to be a dip, but I take it on my finger, so you don't really get as big of a dip as quickly because you just kind of wipe your finger in and put it on your eyes, you know. But I really like this shade. I love it a lot. I think it's really great. I like to ombre it with just peachy. And then we also generated from this palette the shade Summer Yum, which looks like this. There's a huge dip in here. I've dipped into here quite a few times as well. I love this palette. Like I said, I will always use this palette. So even though I said I haven't really done well, I have used this palette a ton. Then we have the Makeup Revolution Tasty Avocado palette. Sorry, this is the iHeart Revolution Tasty Avocado palette. And in here we got the shade Creamy, which is just a kind of pinky base shade. So it's kind of like pinky yellowy kind of colour. It's really hard to explain, but I thought this would just be a really easy shade to use just to set my whole eyelids, but it actually changes the colour of my concealer or whatever I put underneath, so I'd have to powder and then set, which I just don't see the point in doing that. So yes, but I do enjoy this palette. This palette is really nice. Again, I need to play with this a lot more. So that's the progress on Creamy. Hopefully you can kind of see. It's got a little bit of use in, but nothing insane. I would definitely say that I slacked so much on this shade, and it should be the easiest one to use. Then we also generated a shade from the Sleek Storm palette. We believe it was Firestorm, right? Which was this shade right here on the top row. I love this shade. Used it a few times. There's a little bit of a dip in there now that it wasn't there when we started, but not the best progress either. And then finally, probably the most disappointing one is the Primark Master Shadow palette. I love this eyeshadow palette, but I won't lie, I definitely tend to reach for the bottom 2 rows the most, and I don't really touch the top row. And the shade that we generated was number 312 in my collection, which was the deep mauvey cool toned. It's like that. I used it once or twice. The thing is, when you use mattes, you don't see a lot of progress quickly, so obviously you're not going to see it a lot. I have used this a handful of times, but yeah, every time that I reached for this palette, I found myself just reaching for these 6 bottom ones, in these 6 shades in the bottom, like always, and I just forget to use this shade up here because I love the bottom 2 rows of this palette the most. Okay, let's generate in some new numbers. I've got my little fluffy notepad down here with all of the numbers in for all of my palettes. I don't remember if I excluded any palettes from in here, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I also don't know if I've decluttered any palettes from this collection since filming the intro, or I may have gained a palette that's not in these numbers just yet. But let's generate some new numbers. The camera angle might be a little bit wonky at the moment because I was actually using my iPad as a little holder, but I need it for the Pretty Random app that's on it. So let's generate in some new numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate in every number, and I'm going to go upstairs and grab the palettes and then come down and show you guys what shades they are that we have selected. So I want numbers 1 through 402. Just going to click randomize, and I get number, if you guys can see, I get number 62. Okay, so if I randomize again, we get 342. I'm gonna randomize, oh, sorry, you can't see. There you go. Is that better? I can't really get it where the light's not gonna reflect. Okay, maybe that's good. Number 11. Number 385. Number 238. And then last but not least, we're gonna have number 344. Okay, so I'm going to jot down what palettes these numbers belong to, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys what shades we have randomly selected. Okay, so I'm looking through what palettes it is. Basically, I'm going through the number list, the list of palettes to see which palettes they are, so I can go off and select them. And I think one of the shades I don't actually have in my collection anymore because I decluttered it. So I'm just going to generate a extra shade just in case that is the case. So let's just randomize one more extra number. We get 164. So this could be the replacement. So that's just what I'm going to do. Okay. Okay. So I am back with the palettes. The one shade that I thought I didn't have in my collection anymore, I was correct. I did declutter it. So that was one of my single shadows from Makeup Revolution that I just decided to get rid of. So the first number that we generated was the shade 60, was the number 62, and it happens to come from the Sleek Storm palette. So clearly my luck is not ready to give up this palette just yet from this challenge. And I'm not gonna lie, I much prefer the shade that I had from in here beforehand. So the shade that was randomly generated for me was 62, which is the shade Blackout down here. I have hit pan on a black before in this project pan, and I'm probably going to hit pan on this black exactly the same way. I'm going to probably use this as a liner. Don't really venture into black on the outer corner or in normal eyeshadow looks that often, so definitely can see myself using this one as a shadow liner only. So yeah, this is the shade Blackout, and this is the first shade drawn in the regeneration of shades. The next shade that we generated was the shade 342, and that comes from the Calmy X Makeup Revolution palette. So I'm actually very excited about this. I love this palette. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but I am so excited for it. I love the glitter shades. The glitter shades on the top are stunning, and the matte formula below is also just amazing. And 342 is one of the metallics at the top. Shade Bite Me up here, which is this gorgeous metallic shade. Again, the formula of these shades at the top are amazing, so I'm not mad at that. It's a bright pink. I haven't actually used this one yet, so yeah, they have a little bit of like a putty texture to them, but this is the shade. I'm actually well happy with this shade. I think it's a really pretty one. I like pink shadows on myself, so I'm quite happy with this colour generation. I love the formula of these shadows as well, so I'm very happy. And I also have been wanting to get some proper use out of this palette for a while now, so I will be able to dedicate some more time to this palette and get a lot more use. Then the next shade we generated was number 11, but that's the one that I don't have any, that's the number that I don't have any longer in my collection. So the next shade after that we generated was 385, and that came from the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I don't remember how I counted this palette, as in if I went like a matte shimmer, matte shimmer, matte shimmer, but that's how I'm going to do it anyway. So the shade that I randomly generated is the matte shade of Virgo, which is actually one of my most used shades. It's actually the shade in the palette that has the biggest dip in it, I would say, if you can see that dip right in the middle of the pan. I'm not too sure how much product is in each of these pans, so it could take a while to hit pan on. But I do love this shade. It's a really nice baby pink shade, so easy to use, perfect transition shade. These are some stunning shades so far. I'm really happy with that shade selection. Next shade that we generated was the shade 238, and that comes from the Tasty Avocado palette from Revolution. Which again, obviously it's not ready for me to be finished with this palette, which I'm quite happy with because, as I said before, I want to get some more use out of this palette. It's the shade Brunch in this palette. I'm actually so excited to get use out of this. I feel like this shade could look really pretty over the top of the matte green in my eye, like on my eye today, like right in the middle, just to brighten it up a little bit. I think this could look so nice. And this is the shade right here. Lovely shade. It's like a mint a mint bluey green. It's really, really pretty, and it's really nicely formulated as well. I find it has quite a good amount of pigment for a drugstore palette. Then the next shade that we generated was the shade 344, which again comes from the Kami X Makeup Revolution palette. So the shade 344 from this palette is the shade Under My Spell, which is another one of these metallic shades which are absolutely stunning at the top of the palette. Guys, this is a blue shadow that is so icy and stunning. Silvery blue, so it's got a lot of silver tones in it, but oh my god, look at the pigment of that. That is a stunning shade. These two together look so pretty. Oh, I'm having ideas already. I love these two. Oh my god, that's such a pretty shade. Oh my, I'm actually so excited. I love the shades that I've got. And then the last shade that we generated, which was the extra one that I had to add on, is 164, and that comes from the South X Revolution palette, which my one is completely like falling apart. The lid has fallen off from the bottom, and the shade that is one from the end, I believe, which is this one right here, which is Rosewood. That's what it looks like. That's what it swatches like. I'm gonna put it on this end. It's a really nice chocolatey brown. Great for everyday use. It's a stunning shade. Oh, and that is the last shade. So let's talk about the colour variety. I actually love this new colourway. I think it's so stunning. I like the pops of colour that we have from the metallic shades, but I also like the way that the mattes aren't going to be too hard to use. Like this pink I could put in my crease almost every single day, unless I'm doing like a blue look or maybe like a smoky green eye like I am today. It's going to be so easy to use on a daily, as well as the brown, it should be quite easy to use on a daily, and the black I can just use as a shadow liner most days. But I am just obsessed with this colorway. I think it is so pretty and it's very inspiring as well. So I'm so excited for this reset of my Panos eyeshadows. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here and would like to see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!